Oh, guys, there's not enough coffee in the world. But I'll tell you what, this is the type of collection where a 2 hour drive might just be worth it. What's up, comic and pop culture fans? This is James from Minhunter Comics, and if you guys know me by now, I like Batman. For the longest time I've had, and is my pride and joy, was my Batman collection of issues 160 all the way till today, with nothing missing. As some of you know, times got a little tough last year, and I had to sell a couple of the comics from it, most notably the Poison Ivy appearance, which to date is one of my worst timed sellings of all time. In addition, I noticed how high grade my collection was, so I took the occasional book that I thought stood a chance at getting a 9.8 and I submitted them out to CGC, anywhere from 20 to 50 of those many comics. And for the record, a lot of it ended up in 9.8s, most notably these ones shown here on my wall. But now my Batman collection has some holes in it, and has had some holes for about well over a year, like 2 years now. So when I got a message on Instagram from this dude who's a fan of the channel saying, look man, I got Batman, and if you want to come up and I'm trying to get rid of some stuff, this might be perfect for your collection, I was like, yeah, that sounds good. Since it was going to be like a 2 hour drive, I made sure he sent me some pictures. That way I knew I wasn't getting myself into nothing. I asked him if he had certain Batman comics that I was missing from my collection, and we went down the list, and yeah, he had a bunch of them. So then I asked the most important question, okay, what's your pricing looking? Because I don't want to drive all the way 2 hours and pay fair market value for everything. Long story short, I liked his pricing, and we scheduled a date for me to come by. We found a short little block of time, about 7 to about 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning, in which I could look at his comics. As soon as I got to his house, I knew that I was going to have to buy more than just Batman. Guys, it is a good thing if you arrive in a collector's home and these are the first books you see, with everything in a 9 range. Just absolutely beautiful. So exciting. A great way to start off the day. He was kind enough to put everything that I would be looking at, like the Batman and Green Lanterns, just right out front and ready for me, because we did only have about 2 hours to look through stuff, so we kind of want it to be quick. This was the first Batman box, random Angela appearance from Spawn, a couple books that I started getting going there. Check this box out. This was a box he had perfectly prepared for me. And this is a box that you used to find all the time, but Batman books are spiking and it's getting tough. Look, my favorite Batman cover of all time. Some of these were just so nice. His Flash run were like 9.8 ready, guys. A couple books I knew I was going to have to pick up, like this first Leslie Tompkins, very nice. Going down here, look at that iconic Sign of the Joker cover. He wasn't selling though. And that's the thing, is some of these things he was willing to let go, but the more and more we went through, I started to find, you know what, he loves these books too much. Here's another one he just couldn't part with. Very nice here. Keep it moving. Nice to have that back in my collection. I got a 9.8 of it, so it's nice to get it back. First Black Mask, same deal there. I was looking to buy, and our first Scarface here. The first true cameo of Killer Croc. Keeping it moving, there's just all kinds of them. First Stephanie Brown, first Ratcatcher. I mean, guys, he had it all. First Tim Fox. It was all here. I did want to make an offer on the entire box, but once I found out that he wasn't totally willing to sell all of it, I realized that I was going to have to do an individual basis, buying each comic per. Very nice Daredevil right there. My Daredevil chops have been getting a lot better. I've been really excited about that. Some very nice Green Lanterns I'll come back to later. First Stormbreaker there. First Silver Banshee, very nice. And so there are a few things in here that I wanted to make offers on as well, and I was able to pick up some of them. Some really nice books in here. This one had a lot of great Wolverine, some great Captain Marvels. That's like a 9.4 first Captain Marvel right there. We couldn't find enough sales data to make a sale, but look at this. First Spider-Woman.
And I toyed with this so much, and then look at this. Peter Parker Spider-Man #1. I wanted these so bad. The first What If version of Hulk 181. Those books I wanted so bad. I made offers, and he decided he wanted to keep them. Moving along here, we got a nice New Mutants #1. Nice Green Lantern 50 there. First Lady Deathstrike, I think we just passed. Douglas Akar, Son of Hulks. Very nice. Just a lot of great first cameo of Archangel. Just Thor Frog. I mean, you know, he had everything, guys. When I say he had everything, he had duplicates and duplicates of books constantly. I mean, I ran into some of the same book like 20 times. This next box started off with an awesome 9.8 worthy looking Wolverine #1. I wanted it so bad, he wasn't selling it though. Some great old Captains and Iron Man. Iron Man's not so much my thing though, so it's probably a box for someone else. Check it out. First Archangel, very nice. Some nice old silver Green Lanterns. It just kept it coming. I mean, every book in this box was like in the $200 range if you were to get it graded by CGC. First King Shark, we already passed the first Bishop. First Kyle Rayner right there. There's Spider-Woman #1. We couldn't come to a price on this one. He actually was willing to sell that one. Some really great stuff. Bane breaking Batman's back. First Kilowog. I mean, he had everything. Look at Superman versus the Flash, the infamous cover. So classic. Here's a book that just got hot. I mean, this box was the box. The first appearance of Bane, he wasn't selling. I did ask. First Shuri. First Killing Joke, he wasn't selling. I did ask. Oh well. I understand though, I really do. It's kind of like how I am with my collection. This guy really did kind of remind me of me. Some great Moon Knight we just passed through there. Ooh, what's this? First Sabretooth. He wasn't selling. Same thing here, not selling. There were some really nice books in here. First Mr. Miracle, he also wasn't selling. At first, I was starting to think that this guy was just teasing me, showing me this box here, but I understand how it is. Monica Rambeau, first cameo of Gambit, and look at this, one of my top 5 comics of all time, the first appearance of Jon Stewart, followed by the first appearance of Rogue. He was not selling. It was really a shame. I tried to finagle some sort of deal that maybe he would enjoy, but the thing is, I really came for the Batmans, so I don't think he was ready and in that mind frame to do these other bigger deals. So I am going to be coming back, I'm sure, sometime, and hopefully I'm going to be able to get some of these kind of more bigger whales from him. First appearance of The Simpsons, very nice. First Scarlet Spider, very nice. Followed by Old Man Logan. I mean, he had everything. 2 very nice Black Panthers, very nice ASM, look at that. And my #1 favorite Batman cover of all time, 227. If it's not 244, it's 227. I love that cover. He was not selling. I actually didn't even ask if he was selling on that one. This one, we went back and forth a million times. This is the first Star Sapphire. I wanted it so bad, I was ready to do unspeakable acts that I can't speak of on this channel. But, alas, I think I'm going to have to come back another trip and ask for it again. First Gambit in a very sharp copy, and another one of my favorites of all time. Here was a book he got from CGC, he cracked it, pressed it, and we'll be submitting it out again. Oh, I love that cover. Some great Daredevil there. And then randomly he whipped out this 5.0 of one of the earliest Green Lantern appearances. So sweet. Guys, look at this stack right here. This is the cream of the crop. I mean, obviously he wasn't selling this stuff. I mean, look at that first Zatanna. That's one of my favorite books of all time. I've never even seen it in the wild. Nice Brother Voodoo, first Omega Red. This was an absolute crisp, high 9 newsstand copy of Batman Adventures 12, first Harley Quinn. Can you hear Grail? Under it was an Ultimate Fallout 4. He wasn't selling either. I would have paid top dollar for those for sure. Very nice Star Wars #1. followed by the full set. And that number 2, by the way, guys, if you find that Star Wars number 2, that book's heating up because it's the first appearance of Jabba the Hutt. And it's before the movie came out, so they didn't know what he looked like. So it's kind of a funny character design they gave him. Moving on, he showed me a little glimpse into his box of silvers, and I almost missed a major book. Right here, he points it out. I went right past it. First appearance of Adam Warlock. Very nice. Moving on to some nice oldies. Some great old Superman, great old Batman, down to even 10-cent covers. Look at that beauty right there. Oh, these old Thors had me. I actually didn't even make an offer. I should have. He said we're going to come back. You know, if this was successful, he'll have me back and I'll take a look at those silvers. So I'm excited to go back and do a more deeper dive.
So I'm back, and I got some really good books with some really good deals. Let's check it out.
Let's start things off with the first appearance of Stephanie Brown in what I would peg as a potential 9.8 candidate. Spent $10. Very nice, great deal. First Leslie Tompkins, and just happens to be one of my favorite Batman covers of all time. Spent $20. Very nice. Probably won't submit. This one I did an even trade. I traded my Amazing Spider-Man 194 in about a 3.0. Thought this was a very fair trade. Happy. This bad boy I got for free just for coming up. First Professor Hulk personality. Very nice. Same thing with this one. This was another freebie. He had like 20 copies of these, and he just gave me one. Does help that it's a newsstand too. Very cool. Same one here. Direct edition. First appearance of Lady Deathstrike. Thank you, my man. 3 free books just for coming up to visit him. Next up here, spent $10 on the first appearance of Scream. It's definitely not a 9.8, it's probably a 9.6, but I don't care. That's good for me. Here's a copy from my buddy, Amazing Spider-Man 378, spent $5. Very nice cover, maybe a 9.8. Very nice. First X-Force here, anyone knows this book. Kind of a lower value than I thought, $60, 9.8, but it makes me happy. Here's a book I always pick up if I can find it for under $5. Spent $2 on this. We'll see. Could be a 9.8. One of these days I'll get it. This one's very nice, just needs a press. There's a little spine roll, but that's pretty good. I just spent $5. I'll put the $50 into getting this done. Might get $250 out of it. Batman 501. I love this cover. Some Kelly Jones great action. Very nice. Same one here, but this is actually the platinum version of Nightfall Part 1. One that I, believe it or not, don't own, despite me being such a huge Nightfall guy. First, Renee Montoya, and because it's a newsstand, which is really hard to find, it puts the value at $360 for this bad boy. Here's a cool one. This is the 000 printing error. Kind of a common book, but the printing error makes it extra cool. I wouldn't have caught it if he didn't point it out to me. Did get a complete Death in the Family run. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's issue 4. Very nice. And honestly, you could probably get the 9.8. Same thing here with the death of Jason Todd. And I actually bought both of these. $60. I remember you used to be able to get this a lot better. Funny thing is, that's an amazing deal right now. Death in the Family Part 3. $15 for this one. Again, super clean, possible 9.8 candidate. Another one. I did get 2 of these. That makes it even sweeter. They might both get it. Batman 404, I actually got 2 of these. We had a funny deal with this one. He gave these to me for free, and I'm actually just going to submit them both out, and he's going to get one of the copies, whatever it comes back in. Hoping for 9.8s on both. Batman 400, this is just to fill in the Batman collection, guys. Remember, that's the whole point of the trip, is to do this. So that one's nicer than the one I have. Apparently I was missing this one, so this one perfectly fills in the gap very nicely. I don't even care what grade. There's just a hole in my Batman collection that needed to be filled. Here's one I did submit in and got the 9.8, so I was glad to get it back and get one in for my Raw collection. Now you guys know what this is, I hope. First Jason Todd and Killer Croc in probably in the 9 range, so very nice. That'll probably get maybe a 9 too. Here's just another one to fill in the cracks, but it is a newsstand. 336 here, another one that I got a 9.8 on, so I was glad to get another one back in the collection. First appearance of Electrocutioner, it's probably like a 9.6, putting the value at about 50 bucks. Not terrible. These are books that you still really want to get 9.8s if you can. Classic cover right here. I have a direct, and now I have a newsstand. Very nice. Here is a $1 book that turned into a $2,000 book. A 9.0 is $350. I believe a 9.8 did go for $2,000 because it's the first appearance of Tim Fox. Craziness. Very nice. Batman 300, just an anniversary issue, nothing special going on. Also got a beat up reader copy too. Just nice to have, fills the hole in my collection. Here's another one that I thought I have, but apparently I just don't, so I was glad to pick it up. Here's one I always pick up if I can find it for under 10, I get it. Classic Bolland cover. Spent $5. A 9.8 is actually like a $150 book. This was one of the most random ones I could have possibly gotten, but it was such nice condition, and I love me a nice 1980 direct. I had to pick it up. Superman Batman #1. And cover B. Very nice. Both of these are easy 9.8 candidates. Same thing with this third print coming up. Here we go. Check this one out. This one's kind of harder to find. I'm very happy I got this, but I'm really happy about this next Superman Batman. Number 23. Yeah, you guys know what that is. That's that full Batman Beyond appearance in comic continuity. Spent 35 bucks on this, but a 9.8, which this will probably fetch, goes for 150. Check out this error printing, not showing the issue number of 175. This could be a $200 personal collection 9.8. First appearance of Javelin here. Spent $2, well worth it. A 9.8 might end up in the 200s. Here's kind of a nothing book. Guys, by the way, you know, my Green Lantern collection, I try to get 9.8s if I can. So even if it's nothing comic at all, kind of like these couple going on here, I still submit them out just to fill that spot in my Green Lantern collection. Batman I collect raw, Green Lantern I collect exclusively 9.8s. It's a big project I've been undertaking, many years in the making. First appearance of Kilowatt right here, and a newsstand, by the way. Very nice, one of my favorite comics ever. It's like a $400 book. Another cool newsstand one here for the collection, looked like a 9.8, so I picked it up. Even though it's not worth it to you guys, it's worth it to me. Same thing with this one right here. Some of these 9.8s had recent sales of like $20. Just pathetic prices for perfect 9.8s. Still, I'm happy to have it. These are the books that make me happy more than you guys can possibly understand. It's not all about keys, after all. Some of this are books that you just love, like I Love Salak on the cover right there. Very nice. The History of the Guardians here. Another one I spent $2 on, probably a $30 id slabbed, but hey, it's for the personal collection. Here's a cool newsstand 0-hour tie-in for Green Lantern Zero. Might be a $50 book there. Doesn't really matter. This is all for my personal collection. Here's one I've got several of. It's the first appearance of Kyle Rayner, so it does get a 9.8. I do get to sell this one, hopefully make a little money. Same thing here. This is Emerald Twilight Part 2. First Kehan, about a $130 value. Here was a cool childhood book, this Secret Files and Origins. Just pretty neat. Now, this is a book that, again, was a dollar book and just became something with the Batman Keaton rumors coming back. You might be able to get $150 out of a 9.8. Same thing with this returns. Might be able to get squeeze 120 bucks out of this. Absolute craziness. Do you guys think he's going to return to the theater? We'll see. One of the most iconic Batman stories in the last 30 years, The Man Who Laughs. This is a 9.8 candidate for sure, looking like $100. Same thing with this classic one, only this has a small ding in the top of the comic, so I think it's going to be a 9.6, hopefully. I probably won't submit it out. Spawn Batman. I thought this was going to be like a $20 9.8. Apparently this goes for over $100, and I have 2 of them. Very nice. Spawn #1. Would you guys believe I've never owned one of these? I've come close. This time, $20? Deal. Same thing here. Spawn #7. Ooh, what's that? The Newsstand. Instantly making this a in the $300 book if it does get the 9.8, which I'm actually confident that it will. Same thing with this Newsstand. Very nice. Both of these I paid 10 a piece for. I'm going to be really excited about submitting that out, especially with this first Angela, another one I've never found in the wild, or when I find it, people want too much for it. About 30 bucks, that works. Darker Image #1, first appearance of Max. I cannot believe this book is not hotter. Can someone tell me why this is not a $500 book? I don't know. Here's kind of a random. Tales of Green Lantern Corps Annual #1, whatever. This one's for the personal collection. Same thing with this one. Tales of the Green Lantern Corps #3 is a newsstand though, but they all were around here. 40 bucks probably if it was a 9.8. Now here's one I've been looking for forever. First appearance of Necron. It's kind of a quiet little 9.8, but it's a tough 9.8 to get. So hopefully I'll submit either of those out and I'll get it. I do own a 9.8 copy of this first Oricia, but I'm pretty excited to get another one that might be a potential 9.8. This is the 3rd print of The Death of Superman. I have 1, 2, and 4 prints, so this one fit my collection nice. There we got the first appearance of Doomsday. Here's a book that's kind of gotten cold. It's like down to like $100, you know. I saw one sale was under 90. Kind of crazy. Here's a book I always have been trying to find. First Silver Banshee. Very nice. Paid $8 for this, and it looks like a 9.8, guys. That's the first cameo of King Shark right there. An easy 20 bucks because this book keeps climbing due to the popularity of King Shark. That's all I got, but I did hit a flea market on the way home. Spent $2 for 4 comics. This is one of the 4. I think you're going to like this next one. 50 cents. First appearance of Omega Red. And you know what, guys? It's a potential 9.8 candidate. Pretty nice. Here's a nice copy of Amazing Spider-Man 305. This one's from my buddy, so I'm definitely going to be getting that. Very nice. 50 cents. Yes, please. Silver Surfer #1. Another 50 cents. Apparently, it's like a $130 book. Very nice.
So guys, I'm back. And I've made a great new friend, and I'm very happy with my collection. This guy really reminded me of myself, to be completely honest. He was very proud of his collection, didn't want to let it go. And would you? I mean, you guys saw some of the stuff that he had in there. He had 5 of my favorite comics of all time. Books that I always say, if I encounter them in the wild, I will pay. I will buy these. Unfortunately, each one he did not want to sell. He was such a sweet dude. I think he was terrified of giving me a bad deal, which it was really good business on his end. The only funny thing was, a couple of those books, dude, I'll take a bad deal. I want to bring that thing home with me. So my plan is to keep writing him love letters every single week until he realizes that he needs me in his life. We're going to start with coffee, but it's going to evolve to walks on the beaches, holding hands. I'm going to share very deep and personal things with him to build trust. He's going to share very deep and personal things with me. We're going to have a beautiful blossoming friendship, and eventually he might come around to selling me one of those 5. So guys, not only was I able to fill in those gaps in my Batman collection, but I got some pretty fantastic books to boot, all in some very sharp grades. Some definitely interesting books for the personal collection and for the stuff I'm going to be submitting to CGC. What'd you guys get this weekend? Let me know down in the comments, and as always, keep on collecting.